And congratulations. You made it to the end of the week. Friday, baby. We are here. It's February 13th, 2026. And we have officially hit the NBA All-Star break. And there is, we have some college basketball going on today, tonight. But really, otherwise, that's about it. I don't know how long the stream is going to go today because there is not much going on in the sports betting calendar. The Olympic Games for the women's, they already happened this morning. We'll take a look ahead to maybe some UFC, some tennis, some Olympic Games for tomorrow. Obviously, tomorrow we have a huge college basketball slate. We have some good matchups tonight, Michigan State and Wisconsin. But let me jump into this over on the EV tool. Irish, how are you? Wilbo, evening to you. So again, guys, hopefully you're having a solid Friday. It is a Flex Friday on PrizePicks. Here's the problem. I am on the EV tool. I'm going to click refresh. I have my DFS filter set up. I have all 9 popular books selected, better, PrizePicks, underdog. We have no results. We have 0 results. Now I'm looking just at player props, looking at Pinnacle, Power Default. If I jump over to FanDuel, I have no results. Circa, Bookmaker, BetOnline. I have no results for any DFS using the EV tool. When I go over to the Sharp Money tool, looking for player props for all leagues. I got all leagues selected, everything selected. All the DFS books, Better, Dabble, Parlay Play, DraftKings Pick 6, PrizePicks, Underdog. Nothing. I got no results. So that's why I'm not doing 2 streams a day today or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, because there's not a lot going on. Obviously, most of you already know this, but it could be a short stream. Some college basketball games tip off in like 25 minutes. Maybe we can get some live bets in. Hopefully some of you tailed the Kennesaw State play yesterday that we bet live on Caesars. That was some of the easiest money that you'll ever make. So if we go over to the optimizer, okay? And this is normally, guys, my last ditch resort, like rip the emergency cord, pull the e-brake, whatever you want to call it, like break glass in case of emergency, I use the optimizer. And again, when I show 3 minimum data points, where I live, guys, I can't bet college player props. If you live in a state where you can bet college player props, good luck, God bless you, because I don't think any sports book is sharp on college player props. I think they all stink. So honestly, if you watch a lot of Michigan State basketball or Wisconsin basketball, you probably have better opinions than the sports books, in my opinion. Yeah, Irish, like I said, obviously I want to stream because it's a Friday. Would love to be able to get some bets in. We're going to be looking ahead to some Olympic bets, soccer. And funny part is, tomorrow, there's no EPL. There's no Premier League at all. So we'll be looking at Bundesliga. We'll be looking at La Liga. Some of the, French League One. We'll be looking at some of those leagues. But there's no EPL tomorrow, right? Because they were all during the week. We had, I think, 1 match today. So... this is the weekend, man. Like I've talked about before, so we'll go through the books for any of you guys. When I say to you I have 0 confidence in these plays, I am 100% being real with you. I have 0 confidence in any of these plays. So, and these are all red plays to begin with. If I go and just take 0 minimum data points, which I hate doing this. Like these plays in green, you would say, oh, these look kind of good, but I don't know if Underdog knows how to set their lines for esports. I don't know if Fliff actually has anything decent lines when it comes to college basketball. I have no idea. So for those of you that need to put together a PrizePicks slip, because I understand it's a Flex Friday, this probably isn't the spot for you. So yeah, we'll take a look at some sports for tomorrow. Obviously tomorrow we're going to be streaming at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's a huge slate of college basketball games. We'll look at some college hoops. Yeah, well, but it's just kind of one of those things. The NFL's over, and, the NBA is king. Let's look at Underdog and see if we have anything, 3-pick slips. We have these lulls, and that's why your sports betting opportunities are all dependent on what's going on in the season. And like I talked about earlier this week, for those of you, whether you use OddsJam or you use any kind of software, this is a time where, number one, it's kind of nice to have a reset, right? It's Valentine's Day weekend, guys. Literally... the seas parted for us. Guys, take care of your ladies this weekend, right? Pamper them up. Take care of your ladies. If any ladies are in here, make sure your guy takes care of you, because this is the one time where you have actual time on your hands right now. So don't forget about V-Day tomorrow. And then do a deep dive this weekend on your bets. Take a look at your markets. Get ready for baseball season. Take a look at your previous season or previous seasons of betting baseball. What markets are working well for you? What odds range? What sports books? Where are you killing it? If you guys aren't really savvy in Excel, export your bets, export the CSV file on OddsJam. Try a free trial of ChatGPT Plus. I got a free trial for 30 days. Upload your CSV file and start just firing off a bunch of questions over to ChatGPT and start asking it like, what's going on? Where am I doing well? This is the calm before the storm, right? So this weekend and then next Monday, next Tuesday, next Wednesday, there's going to be college basketball going on, but this gives you an opportunity to dial in baseball, to dial in the last half, the final stretch of the NBA regular season. You really, in my opinion, have no excuses to dial this in and figure out what's going wrong. Like if you've been betting NBA all season long and you're getting crushed on a certain market, I would say just stop betting that market. Like I'm pretty much giving up on betting NBA player props on FanDuel for pregame. I'm just going to kind of stop doing that for the most part, right? Not going to do that anymore. So that would kind of be how you can use some of your time. I know it's not fun, but dude, this is where you can literally figure out like what's working and what's not. This is where you can help your future self out in March and in April. Irish. So unfortunately, like about 6 or 8 months ago, YouTube gave me like a bunch. I was getting a bunch of emails from YouTube because they didn't like some of my live streams because I was showing a lot of offshore books. So I just got rid of all my live streams. So I need to do another live stream, and we can talk about that today, right? We can talk about that on this stream because I had to get rid of a lot of my live streams, and I had one specific live stream showing you how to export your bets, okay? So we'll get into that here. Definitely we'll use some of that time on the stream today to kind of walk you guys through how you would do it, right? And it's fairly simple. It's going to take about 15 seconds to do so. If you guys aren't savvy in Excel, just ask Google, ask ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool. They will literally just like, hey, I need to throw filters up on my columns on Excel. They'll literally walk you through step-by-step how to do it. Especially now, there really is, in my opinion, I know I just sound like an old grandpa right now, just kind of yelling at the clouds. I'll let you guys know if I like any of these plays. Bracco's back, by the way, guys. Nice to see that with OddsJam. But with Google and AI, there is no excuse for you to not be able to execute what you need to execute on Excel. You don't have to go through the days of you having to watch a 10-minute YouTube video to get to where you need to be are gone. AI makes it really easy to figure out or just Google what you need to do with Excel. And so if you're not interested in trying AI and signing up or trying a free trial or paying for that, I get that. You don't want your information out there. No problem. You can Google your way through figuring out. It's really simple. Just filter your columns and then you can start to do some sum functions or just kind of do some profits, right? It's not too difficult. Let's take a look at Dabble. I'm going to just take a guess today that on the DFS slips, there's going to be like nothing that I really enjoy at all. Again, because it's only college player props and esports. I don't know. I might sound like a bad guy here. I don't really have a lot of faith in the optimizer when it comes to esports with OddsJam. I just don't. I trust some other sources like a Juice Bets for their esports information because there's people that are dedicated over there on Juice Bets that only bet esports. And so, again, between that and Edge Zone, my two most favorite Discords, I kind of trust the people over there more than just OddsJam Scanner because they don't, between PrizePicks and Underdog, it's like like we talked a lot about, man, Underdog has the line set here for esports and PrizePicks is up here. It's like the blind leading the blind. Like you have no chance. It's like you getting put in a group project with two classmates that have, a D average. Like you have no shot. So I just don't really have a lot of faith in that. For the sharp money tool outside of player props, let's select everything and let's select all the books and we have 4 results. Unfortunately, these plays on overtime are all fake. That's the problem because OddsJam is pulling the incorrect odds on game spreads and main markets for overtime, which I still like overtime. I do use them. I like to bet NBA player props with them. So without overtime, we're not really seeing anything. If I go for the next 7 days, we have some tennis plays for tomorrow morning, which obviously if you live on the East Coast or you live in America, you're going to be sleeping during these. So if you could get this at a rebet at 160 is not bad for Banya, however you say this dude's name. I don't mind this. Obviously, Boomers is a Nevada-only sportsbook, but if you have a rebet, I would check that out. I really wouldn't bet this at FanDuel. I mean, this person wants it at plus 155, so technically that meets the criteria for FanDuel, but I really just go rebet or Boomers. And then this is a soccer play for Italy Serie A. This is a very, very, very heavy, juicy play, but okay. And then again, player points down below for Jaden Bradley, college props. Best of luck on that one because I'm not sure. I don't really have a lot. Speaking of videos made, I dropped a video, guys, today on my channel. On my channel, talking about Kalshi and 3 habits that I use. And one of those habits we are going to use once we hit the 6:30 Eastern time mark because there is a game or two going on. And so hopefully you guys found some value in that video. I know 3 habits. Most of you think I'm just going to say line shopping or plus EV, but I was actually trying to showcase how you can use different DVIG methods for live betting, for pregame betting on how you can beat Kalshi. And literally the bet that I placed live on Kalshi, which was last night, cashed. Shout out to the Trailblazers on the money line. So we're going to go through that today for college basketball as well. All right, the Sharp Money tool isn't offering us much. That's why I have these sportsbook screen tabs up here because I'm ready to go for college basketball just in case, we got something going on. We got Manhattan and Niagara that I'm kind of itching to bet. So first and foremost, Irish and anyone that's interested in your bet tracker, okay, you're just going to open this up over here. Come up to bet tracker, okay? You can see I got some plays over here already, right? Export your bets. Right here is the export your bets tab, okay? Once you export your bets, you're going to receive an email from OddsJam. Download the file that OddsJam sends you, okay? Download the file, and then what I would do is I would open up ChatGPT, and the regular ChatGPT I don't think is going to work. You can literally, though, if you try their free trial for the ChatGPT Pro or Plus or whatever the hell it's called, you just click and hold that file and drop and drag it into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want to ask you some questions on my best markets, profitability wise, okay? And so that's all you really need to do. You can start to ask it a bunch of questions. It can go through that file and look through it, okay? Otherwise, you can open up that CSV file, and we're gonna look at some college hoops right here. Open up that CSV file and just spread each row out or column out a little bit so you can see everything. Ask Google how to throw a filter on it. Throw a filter on the top column, and you can start to filter by sportsbook, by odds range, by market. It's not difficult. Again, just ask Google. It'll literally tell you step by step how to do it. Take 30 to 60 minutes over the course of the next 5 days and do that if you're not using AI, and you'll be able to kind of put yourself on the fast track to success. Circa, bookmaker, college basketball spreads, that's where we'll start. George Mason. This is an offshore sports book, but George Mason +4. Every game. Outside of every game, which I'm using right now, we're looking pretty good there. I forgot that I placed a bet on here yesterday. Oh, yeah, because I hit the over on Portland State and Northern Arizona. I forgot about that. Okay, so I'm going to hit this play up on George Mason. Every game is an offshore sports book, guys. As you know, your boy does use a lot of offshore books. Looking for, George Mason +4. This is great to Circa and Bookmaker. They're telling me to bet $40, and I'm going to bet probably $100 at even money. And all right, I just got that play in right now. And again, guys, I'm using Circa and Bookmaker as my sharps because they take the most amount of money on liquidity. You could see Pinnacle's taking $1,500. Circa's taking twice that amount of money. Bookmaker is going to take the same amount of circa, if not more. So we like to use a combination. For my people on PrizePicks or Bovada, all of these plays are fine by me. Dub Club, shout out Dub Club. We had a day yesterday. We hit 8 out of 9 picks that I gave out on Dub Club. We've now had 4 straight winning days in a row. It was an awesome day, and we are obviously January, guys, for any of you that are in Dub Club that are on the chat and stream right now. It was brutal. We are now up close to 7.5 units in the month of February on Dub Club. So again, the losing wasn't going to last forever. And while we're still in the red overall in 2026, we are definitely on the strong comeback trail. Yesterday was absolutely fire. We swept all 3 college basketball picks. We hit every NBA pick except for one, FU, Cam Thomas. But otherwise, it was awesome. We had a great day, and we continue to claw back the money that we gave away in January. So we've had a really strong 8 or probably about 9 or 10 days on Dub Club recently. And so really happy to see that. So Yale minus 10, $1,400 here. That doesn't bother me. Pinnacle's taking $3K. Circa's taking about $3,300. Bookmaker's probably taking a little bit more. Bookmaker and Circa agree. Pinnacle's at minus 110 as well. So all 4 sharp books here, guys. Bet online. They're all roughly the same. This is a great price on PrizePicks. If you have PrizePicks, go bet it. Michigan State, there's only $21 here. I don't need to deep dive this. Just go take the $20. Same with Canisius, plus 5. Go take the $45. For Loyola Chicago, Bovada, go bet this. I know these edges look really low, but remember, this is a combination of 2 sharp sports books that are saying this is what the edge is. I would bet more than this amount. I would bet 1.5 to 2 times more than this amount all day long. Most of the time, guys, when I'm using this combination for point spreads for college hoops, a ton of PrizePicks, a ton of no vig plays. So if you have an exchange or you live in Florida and you're like, dude, I can't really bet much in Florida, start using these exchanges, start using this combination. You'll get down more action 100%. And tomorrow, I can guarantee you this tool is going to be absolutely bonkers with what's going on. So, I mentioned that I dropped a video earlier in the chat. If you liked it, I appreciate whoever asked about the fees on Kalshi. I take into consideration if you're betting anything that's 3% or higher, F the fees. It doesn't matter. It's still a positive EV play, still worth going to bet, right? If you start betting plays that are like 1% edge, yeah, then it's going to be tough. But otherwise, doesn't matter. Go bet it. 3% or higher, go get that. UNLV plus 11, bet 105. Definitely a disagreement here between the books. And again, 3K, Circa's taking twice the amount of money there. I might go over to bet 105 and bet this. I just want to double check bookmakers' limits on this Boise State UNLV Mountain West basketball. And as long as bookmaker has the same limits as Circa, if not higher, then I will definitely go bet this for like $50, UNLV plus 11. Bet 105, guys, again, if you haven't, when you sign up with a new account, use code BILLYC, the promo code. Your first deposit of $100, you're going to get a $50 bonus bet, and it's a 1x rollover. It's one of the best offshore sports books out there because the rollover is so low. So your funds aren't tied up in that account or with that sports book, which means once you bet $150, assuming you deposit $100 and receive $50, your funds are free and clear. So over here, oh yeah, bookmaker's taking almost $11,000. And again, I like to be very transparent. This is a screenshot. UNLV plus 11, bookmaker $11,600. Pinnacle's taking 3K. So I'm going over to bet 105 to bet UNLV plus 11 right now. They usually send me a code. Irish, great question. I don't know. I would definitely reach out to Pickett support to see if that's the case. I have not exported my bets from Pickett. But I would definitely reach out to their support team to see if there's a way that you can do so. All right, just getting the code over here on Bet 105 because they send this to me just to double check the confirmation code. And guys, if you do use my promo code when you sign up with Bet 105, I do receive a little, I think I receive like a $25 free bet from you. So, you don't have to. Just sign up with the book, even if you don't want to use my code. It's a book that I use every day. So I'm in over here. I'm just going to place a $50 wager on UNLV plus 11, but we get that. It's a small edge, But again, because the limits are so much higher for Circa and Bookmaker, I just have more confidence in this play. And again, one of the reasons why this play is being recommended is because in terms of college basketball, Pinnacle, Americans can't, college basketball is an American sport. Very few Americans, no Americans can bet with Pinnacle because Pinnacle doesn't accept U.S. citizens. So the reason that Pinnacle's limits are lower is because they don't accept a lot of action from U.S. bettors. And so European bettors aren't as interested in betting college basketball in America. That's why Bookmaker and Circa take larger limits, because Americans, if they want to go place their action that are professional bettors outside of Pinnacle, they go to Circa, they would go to Bookmaker. That's why their limits are higher, because they take American customers. Pinnacle doesn't. So that's kind of the common sense rationale behind why I'm willing to bet this over at basically Pinnacle. Bet 105 copies Pinnacle's odds, not verbatim, but it's pretty close. And so in this case, we're on that one. All right, this is the main chunk. So what we're going to do over here is we're going to switch this up, put ones across the board, and I'm going to switch up the markets now. Okay, so we'll just go main markets here. And then for alternative markets, we're going to throw in some first half money lines. We got those. Cool. Let me look at first half totals. Yep, we want first half total points though. And I want first half point spreads for college basketball. What do we got? Again, we're going to use the formula here, and I want, I'm cool to go, 50%, which means we want at least 2 sports books offering this. This was the first habit in the video that I dropped today, talking about this specific strategy. Manhattan, if you're a Fliff user, -1.5, not bad at all. George Mason, first half point spread for my Bovada people. Go bet that. Again, I will be on tomorrow, guys, at 11 a.m. Eastern, going through a massive slate of college basketball. George Mason, first half spread, every game, Bovada, BetDSI, all offshore sports books, +2. I'm already on every game over here. I don't mind taking that. -105. I'll throw in $90 because that's all I have left in the account. There we go. I get that play in there. So shout out to every game. Solid for college basketball for sure. Book, an offshore book that I like to use, but also Bovada, BetDSI are really solid as well. Sports Zeno, if anyone's not limited yet on Sports Zeno, over 70.5 first half total points, Columbia and Pennsylvania. George Mason +3 on ProfitX. There's only $129 out here. Take this. Now, Yale and Dartmouth, there is about $1,100 on no vig. Again, Pinnacle's taking $1,500. Circa's only taking $1,100. Let me see what Bookmaker's taking. Dartmouth and Yale, under 151.5. Bookmaker's taking about $1,100 as well. So Pinnacle's taking a little bit more. Again, it's about the same as no vig, but again, the sharp books agree with one another. I have no problem betting this on no vig if I was in a state that had no vig. Manhattan -2.5. George Mason again. Again, if you bet it on ProfitX, if you had ProfitX or no vig, maybe I would take the +3.5 instead of the +3. In case they lose by 3, you win this bet. This is a push. Little things I like to think about. We're not sacrificing a ton of edge here, and I'd rather have the +3.5 than the +3. So if you bet both of those, then obviously you're taking on more risk in case George Mason loses by like 8 or 9. Then, you're in a little bit of trouble. All these plays here, though, are plays that I really like. And I do like betting first half unders on college basketball because they seem to score less in the first half and then way more in the second half due to fouling. ProfitX, Siena, Canisius, I would grab these plays as well. I know these are all smaller schools, guys, outside of that UNLV game, which is Mountain West, a little bit bigger. These are smaller college basketball conferences, right? So if you're someone that only wants to focus on Michigan State and Wisconsin, I get that. But, I think there's some value to be had here on these plays. Yale and Dartmouth. This is on FanDuel. Small edge here, but under 152.5. Yeah, That looks really good. I think I'm out of money on my FanDuel account from earlier, but that looks really good. Let's hope UMass covers that 13.5 spread. And obviously, guys, Irish, I appreciate you letting me know when something moves. I don't ever mean to like post something and then it moves. That's just kind of the nature of betting. I know you're aware of that. So I appreciate the shout out there. I do feel bad though as soon as I post something and then it moves. I don't think I'm that sharp that FanDuel has an auto mover on my account, but sometimes it's like that. So definitely like this. And again, guys, using a combination of books, Pinnacle, Bookmaker, Circa, that are all in agreement with one another. This is really, really solid in terms of, even though these plays have a low edge, I would still bet more. Now, obviously, when you're down in this edge area, you're like, all right, like I'm not betting $6, right? Maybe I would bet 25 or 50 bucks, but I already have George Mason on the spread. I don't want to double dip and take him first half money line in case they lose the first, if they're down by like 5 or 6 in the first half. Then I would lose both bets, right? That's managing your risk when it comes to these markets. Oh, no problem, Irish. I get that, man. I know you're just giving a shout out. I just personally always feel bad when I bet stuff and then, nobody can actually get it. That's always a tough one. I always know that, brother. I know it comes from a good place from you. So outside of that, guys, let's take a look at some soccer. We'll take a look at some UFC if there's, I can't remember if there is any UFC fights, but we'll take a look at that. So let's kind of start with UFC. No results. All right. What about if I remove them? Yeah, no results at all. All right. Let's take a look at tennis. Let's look at maybe the next 7 days. What do we got? I got to remove overtime because overtime is incorrect. That's my bad. 9 results. Okay. Tomorrow, well, this is basically at midnight tonight. We got some overs here in the women's tennis match. A couple of overs. DraftKings. This is almost a 4% edge. This looks really good. Now, Pinnacle's only taking about 800 bucks, but still there at minus 141. This is, almost a low hold to Pinnacle. So these overs look nice. Very nice for both of these. The over 20.5. Again, if you're looking at these two plays, take the over 20.5 instead of 21.5 because, it's close. Fanatics, even on limited Fanatics account, guys, if you don't want to bet these straight, put these in a parlay, or obviously this is the same match, but check this out. FanDuel, same thing. All really solid plays here. These are all over about 2.5% edge on DraftKings and FanDuel. Some men's tennis, women's tennis. Definitely check these out. Now, I understand how many people are betting tennis, but luckily these are overs, and these are going to be happening, at midnight tonight or 11:40 Eastern. Or I'm sorry, this is going to be happening at like 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning Eastern time. So take a look at these plays. I definitely do like these. I will fire up my Fanatics account, and I'm going to take the over 21.5. See if I can bet both. I can probably only bet like 10 bucks on this. We do have one college basketball game that's going to be tipping off here in about the next 5 to 7 minutes. But other than that, there isn't a ton going on. And even though we have Olympic hockey for men's and women's, there just isn't as many matchups like we would have with a normal NHL slate. So that's the other kind of pain in the butt. So we got what? Simica, or however you say this dude's name. Don't know. Let me find out which is this, the ATP Challenger. Yeah, here it is. This is the ATP Challenger Chennai, however you say it. So if you're looking for it, it's just so you guys know for this men's tennis match. That's who it is, because that's the hardest part with tennis. Sometimes takes a minute to find these bad boys. You got to go over on, at least on Fanatics, the game props, guys. And I'm going to try to bet as much as I can. They will take $10 from me. So I'll take my 10 bucks here. And then because it's only $10, I will then bet this again on the over 22.5. So I got 20 bucks over here on Fanatics for this specific match to go over 21 and over 22.5 games. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Not much, but again, this is anything that's over 2%. Love seeing that. Shelton, he's kind of a little bit well-known tennis player. You can hit this on Canby as well, the over 22.5. All right, let's take a look at hockey and see what we have. Oh, let me go to soccer first. Apologies. Let's take a look at soccer. I do have the next 7 days. Just the mainline markets. Talked about this play. If you know, you know, Dub Club. This was a solid play. Circa right now, minus 115. 4CX, though, only $114. This is Tuesday. This looks pretty good. Try to grab a little bit of this right now on 4CX, which is an exchange. I'll probably bet like $50. So it's $114 out here. So I'll leave a little money out there for you guys that want this. This is what the UEFA Champions League. And this is Monaco PSG with the over 3. There we go. And yeah, there's only $114 here, guys. I'm going to leave some out there for whoever wants it. I'm just going to grab $50. So there's still like, what, $60, $74 out there? Something like that. So there we go. I'm in for 50. Okay. Now, some moneyline three-ways that we have over here. This is Soccer League 1 tomorrow. This one just popped up. FanDuel, Ballybet, Hard Rock. This is France League 1. Let me pull this one up really quickly. Pinnacle's taking almost $4,000 here. If you have a FanDuel account, go bet this. Ballybet, go bet it. It's minus 103 on Bet Rivers, which I'm not going to grab there. It's a low edge here, guys. We're talking 1%, but if you're looking for some action, not bad. Trent, what's going on, man? Doing well. Doing well. It's a pretty slow day. It's going to be a couple of slow days as the NBA is on their All-Star break, but I'm doing well and hope you are too. Yeah, Anton, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. You know, the Olympic hockey tournaments, these teams don't play a lot of games. You don't have a lot of data off them. Especially maybe some of the lower tier teams, lower tier countries that don't have, it's not like USA. If you're betting something outside of USA, Canada, or Switzerland, it's kind of tough. Finland, you know, those are kind of the stronger teams. But again, if you want this moneyline three-way, guys, at least on Dub Club, a couple of them we've been burned on. But like this is basically you're betting on Cordoba to win the match. If it's a draw, you lose. And obviously if they lose the game, you lose. So it has to be a win. But you can hit this on Canby. These are lower edge plays. This is on Sunday. This match happens. Pinnacle's only taking about $700 on this market, right? So if I'm looking at this play compared to this play, I have more confidence in this play because Pinnacle's taking almost $4,000. Even though the edge is slightly lower, I still really like that. For no vig, you know, this is double the amount that Pinnacle's taken. $6,200 here, $4,000 here. Maybe I would back off on this play unless you watch a lot of Bundesliga and you know Hoffenheim. You know, it's tough to say. I don't like how high the liquidity is, though, over there on Novig. Not something I'm interested in. So, some different ways to read that. But again, with soccer, not a ton, but it is what it is. Now, if I was to go to, what do I want to do here? Let's go, I guess, back to main. Let's go to college basketball. We'll go minus 200 plus 150. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, clear this out. We want to go to hockey. And come down here to Olympic men's, Olympic women's. Let's just select all the markets. Next 7 days, devigging to Pinnacle, and we'll use power. So we got 14 results, guys. If you use worst case, you only have 12 results. Remember, worst case is the most conservative, so you're not going to have as many results. If you have a little bit, if you think, you know, hey, I'm okay with going with power, you'll have more results, and the EV edge will be a little bit higher for those other plays, okay? Denmark and the USA, this is for the men's, right? Over 7, and then USA minus 4. So if you're looking for an SGP, take USA minus 4, 7. But pay attention, guys. All of these markets are regular time markets, no overtime. Okay, it's regular time. Obviously, 7, you have a little bit of insurance compared to the over 6.5. Big difference in edge. If you want, you could just take a -6.5, over 6.5, -4.5. A little bit safer to take this -4, right? This edge is similar between the -4.5 and -4. I would just take the -4. So that's what I'm going to go do right now on Bet Rivers. I'm going to go log in on my phone over here on Bet Rivers. This is for tomorrow afternoon. USA got some nice plays here for the men's hockey. So let me see this. All right, USA. And again, guys, when you're on the Canby Sportsbooks, scroll down and you have to go to game regular time. That's where this is going to live. And USA -4. I don't know if I'll bet 220, but I'll bet probably 150 if they let me. You have some insurance with the -4. If they win 6-2, 5-1, then you're going to be all right here. So I'm in for 150 on USA -4. Now for the over, I could take the over 7. That's a very high EV edge play. I'm willing to do that. And see if I can get down maybe $200 here. Yeah, they're letting me bet this. And this is a limited Bet Rivers account, guys, when it comes to player props. But man, main markets, man, this is still really solid. Still really solid. Now, if I wanted to go a little bit further and take the over 6.5, I could do that as well. We could also take the over 6 here, guys. A lot of options on this USA play. You could take the -3.5, the over 6. Again, this is all regulation time, no overtime. I think everyone, though, is in agreement that USA is not going to hopefully not need overtime. Like, they should just be able to beat the piss out of Denmark, right? Like, this should be a USA win, so it just depends on how much. So if you got some big brajules, you could go the -3.5. We could go the over 6. I'm probably going to go back and maybe grab a little 3.5 as well and then call it a day because I want to leave some of the money in my account just to be able to bet. And again, it's the same thing. Let's see, -3.5. Yeah, I like that because I want to leave some money in this account to be able to bet. Ooh, it just changed to -155. Oh, man. Markets are changing right now. That just moved. And -4 just moved. So we might be moving some markets over here right now, at least everyone on the stream. It's no coincidence that we just found some really EV edge plays and now the market's moving, right? Kind of hilarious. I would rather go the over 6 than the -3.5 over here because of that. So the over 6 for -143, I'll get that as well. Some nice round numbers here, guys. Again, I'm always thinking about insurance in case it's a 6-0 game for the U.S. Then it's a push, and I get a win on the goal on the puck line. So there we go. So there is some plays there. Everything else here, once we get below the USA matchup, lower edge plays. These are all men's plays right here. First period total goals, 1.5% edge with Latvia and Germany. The under 6, Italy, Finland. We're expecting, Finland to blow out Italy. And then Sweden, first period puck line against Slovakia, -0.5 goal. These are lower edge plays. Those USA plays are smashes. Whether you bet the overs or you bet the puck line on USA, those are smashes. Here, not really sure. Shout out to the USA women's hockey team today. They dominated their matchup. I think it was Italy. They just dominated. Anything else is just too low for me. Too low. But I'll pause for any of you that really need some plays. Most of this is on Canby. Nice to see DraftKings and the score pop up and Caesars pop up. But the Canby Sportsbooks is really where it's at. Even if you are limited on your Canby Sportsbook, I implore you to try to bet this. We're talking mainline markets here for the Olympics. You might be able to get some money down on these plays, right? This over 6.5. Pinnacle's taking only $400 at the moment, but remember, this is for tomorrow, right? And looks like we got this at even money over here at Caesars. Is that right? Yeah, over 6.5 now is really good on Caesars, plus 100. It's lower amount liquidity right now for Pinnacle, guys. But as we get closer to game time tomorrow, we'll take a look on the stream and see how that goes. because this is a 3:10 p.m. Eastern game. But we're on some nice plays here on some puck lines with USA, which is nice to see. Did I bet? I bet the -3.5. Did I not? What did I bet? Make sure I got everything in my bet tracker correct. I got the over 6, the over 7, and the -4. All right, cool. Cool. Yeah, Irish, we're definitely going to take a look at that because pretty much, guys, that would be where I'd call it a wrap on the stream. So we're going to try to hit some live college basketball because this game's just getting started. Now, I will preface it with this. I don't really like to bet college hoops this early in terms of the game. I prefer to bet second halves, but we'll take a look. And I probably need to remove one of these books. Let's remove Fanatics. And let's pull up Caesars. There we go. I like using the sportsbook screen. All you got to do is refresh, guys, and then Caesars will pop up here. Okay? I like using the sportsbook screen. And if you want to, guys, to make this really easy, you could just come down here in the drop-down, click this. Again, if you guys want, use code Billy35. You'll receive a 1-week free trial, 35% off your first month after the 1-week trial ends. And so you can see right here that Pinnacle doesn't have anything, right? So this is why in the video I talk a lot about FanDuel, betting live, not just for NBA, but for college as well, because FanDuel does have odds. Pinnacle doesn't. Pinnacle typically, over the last year or so, Pinnacle's only been showing odds for like the big time matchups, like Wisconsin, Michigan State. Pinnacle will have odds. But for Manhattan and Niagara, they don't. So this is where I really lean on FanDuel as a sharp, and that's why I talked about it in the video. Okay, so the optimizer sucks today. DFS, there really isn't anything. Don't want to forget about my arbitrage people, because I did forget about my arbitrage people. Again, looking for things for today. I don't like overtime because overtime's incorrect. So if I get rid of overtime and I take my percentage and make this a 10, you're not going to see as many opportunities. But if you can day trade the books, like I don't like betting team total corners, right? This is an alternate market. That's why I normally don't bet alt markets. The books don't take a lot of money on those types of markets, right? And how many casual bettors are betting team total corners for soccer? If you can bet collegiate props like on Sportsino and ProfitX, this is a great play. There's almost $900 here on Jordan Scott, 3% edge. But as you can see, guys, things die very quickly in terms of an edge. Now, Stony Brook and Monmouth, only $15 on Kalshi. But, you can do this with Fliff for a small arb. There's just not a lot going on, right? And it's all just dependent on what's going on in the sports betting calendar. So, to tee this up, it's pretty simple. I'll probably select like one or two, couple of books here, right? I'll look at Caesars. Maybe I'll look at Bet Rivers, Kalshi, DraftKings. That's pretty much it. If you wanted to do BetMGM, feel free to do so, okay? Odds range, let's keep this like -150. Let's keep this at a +125. Percentage, let's go, I don't know, let's go 2% EV edge plays. We'll go power. We can go to FanDuel, right? Leagues, I just want college basketball, and I only want mainline markets games for today. I click show results. Oh, hold up. Now, normally I like to use Bookmaker here. This could be a pregame bet over here on Kalshi really quick. Let me see. Yeah, I don't love this price compared to Pinnacle. Princeton +3.5. What's Bookmaker and Circa have this as? Nothing really. Circa's at +3 at -105. We get +3.5 at -103. That's pretty that's decent. Not bad. Let me go over to Bookmaker and double check this Cornell play. Because Bookmaker has it, but OddsJam just isn't pulling it. Cornell, what are we looking at? Princeton, we're looking at Princeton +3.5. They're taking $11,000, Bookmaker is, for +3.5 at -113. It's not bad. It's not as high of an edge. I'm just going to probably let it pass right now. Interesting, though. Okay, so now what we're going to do is come over here to live. Click play. Now, I'm not logged in yet. I'm not logged into anything. But first half money line with Niagara, that looks really good. Looks better on DraftKings right now. FanDuel's at minus 122. DraftKings at plus 105. I don't know if I can get over here fast enough because I need to be logged in. But that looks really, really good with DraftKings. And DraftKings is now at plus 110. FanDuel's at, why the hell can't I get this to be logged in? There we go. Yeah, maybe that might be gone, but that's all right. We'll come back. Now, there it is, plus 110. First half money line, DraftKings. There's obviously only one game. It came back. It's at plus 115 right now. Yeah, plus 104 is not great. And again, guys, if you don't like to use the EV tool, because there's only one game going on right now, we can just come over here to first half money line. Right? I can just open this window up again and then just come to first half money line plays and say, yo, like they're at plus 125. So I'm going to take some of this right now. Right? What is it? What's the EV tool think? They're not seeing it. They don't really like it as much. But I like it. So I'm going to bet Niagara first half. $50 at plus 125. We'll take that. Now, oh, I love when that happens, and then I get screwed on it. What happened? Did I get the better price? All right, I actually got it at plus 160. Shout out to DraftKings. I got this at plus 160 instead. So they didn't give me a plus 125. I got it at 160, which is better than plus 125. I'll take that. So there we go. But we'll just come back over here to the EV tool and just chill, right? Because that's all I have going on. I got a couple of books pulled up, guys. Not seeing a lot. If I wanted to extend this, obviously I could go to plus minus 150 and see if anything pops up. But again, Manhattan hit a three-pointer, so that's why it doesn't look so good. But if Niagara, with 12 minutes left in the game, can get back into this, we'll see what happens. I know that's a little juicy there, right? But we're just kind of chilling. And obviously we don't see a lot going on because there's only one game going on. But this is how I like to just kind of look at things and look at the points here, look at FanDuel and say, okay, they're at 137. Pay attention to Caesars a lot. 1 point off, guys. Let's kind of talk through this a little bit. So you see the total points, right? You're going to notice that Caesars is normally going to lag behind a little bit. 1 point of a difference in the first half doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. If you're looking to bet spreads or totals in the first half, we need 2, if not 3 points of a difference. That means we need Caesars at like 139 compared to FanDuel's 136. Excuse me. Or I need, 2 points of a difference here is not bad between MGM and FanDuel. I would like to see 3 points. If we get into the second half of the game and there's like less than 10 minutes left and I get a point and a half, 2 points of a difference, okay. All right, now I'm a little bit more interested. But first half, guys, you need to start to see some massive differences. I need Caesars to be at 5.5 when FanDuel's at 2.5, right? That's what I need to see in order to place bets. So for me, it's just not enough just to see a little bit. First half money line. Now take a look at this, right? I got to delete this one, but we got it at plus 160, right? Now I could look to arb out of this if I wanted to over at FanDuel because this is an arb right now to FanDuel. Where I got plus 160 on Niagara, now I could bet this at minus 130. I could just arb out of this. So if you're live betting and you're placing plus EV bets, you should also open up an arbitrage calculator. And I say, okay, I got 160 for $50. If I can get this at 130, I bet 75. I make like $4 to $6 no matter what happens, right? So this is something you could do. We're in a stoppage right now. MGM, DraftKings, bet the first half money line on Niagara. I could try to go bet this over at overtime, but really FanDuel's my only option to try to arb out of this. And the problem for myself is that I don't think I have any money in my FanDuel account. And I'm just going to let this ride. Like I got a really good price on this play. We could see that right now nobody's offering plus 160. So shout out DraftKings for not giving me the plus 125. They gave me the plus 160. It's a first half money line play where there is some insurance baked in. If it's a tie score at half, we just get our money refunded to us. But as you can see, we're looking pretty good. This is a low hold to these books, and it's a solid play to FanDuel. So grab this over on DraftKings, a 2% edge. It's not a high edge, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And for some of you, you might know this, but literally live betting, the odds are going to go like this and then like this every 2 to 3 seconds. And it's really easy to kind of get caught up in this emotional roller coaster. The more that you live bet, the more that you get used to these really crazy swings. Again, Niagara gets a basket. Now all of a sudden it's not plus 160 or plus 190. It's now plus 120. Niagara gets a stop in another basket. This will drop to like minus 110, minus 115. It all just depends on possession to possession. And if Manhattan goes on a 7-0 run, Niagara first half money line will be like plus 700. So that's why with live betting, guys, it's really not for the weak stomach, because you got to be able to go through the swings. And the more that you see the swings, the more that you watch these sports books react crazy, it gets a little easier. Now here on Kalshi, there's only $16. I don't want to put my mouse over it, but right above my mouse, there's only $16 on this under. That's 2 points off. You can see it's a 2-cent difference. FanDuel's 135.5 minus 114, just like with Bookmaker. Like, there's a 2-point difference here. Okay, now I lean on FanDuel as the sharp. That's not bad for the first half, but not quite good enough. They just jumped up to 138. So again, little things that you want to pay attention to here, but normally I don't. Like, you can see it's a 2-point difference now with Caesars and MGM on FanDuel. You'll see they'll catch up, right? They just caught up now. So things that change all the time. But that's just kind of how it goes. So, I'd love to maybe able to get a totals or a first half point spread. There you go. Niagara's now back to plus 150. I had my chance to arb out of it if I wanted to. I'm okay for $50 though, just riding this out at the moment. And obviously the game's going on live right now, so that's why plays pop up and then they disappear within a second. If you don't like how quickly this moves, I get you. Just come to stoppage. Right? And then what you could do is like pull up DraftKings or one of your sports books and you can watch the game go back and forth. And then when you see the timeout, you know kind of what's up, right? But if you don't mind going on live, then you have some opportunities to bet this while the game's going on live. Just different options for you guys. But that's where I'm really going to call it a stream at the moment here, guys. I would look to jump into this game after halftime and get into it then. But otherwise, appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm back on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. You have questions, email me, DM me. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome Friday evening. Take care of your ladies on Valentine's Day, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.